Hey there, and well, I just got back from from McDonald's really, because I did not feel like cooking tonight, and today's my day off, and I plan to make a video. So ignore the wild messy hair. It's kind of windy outside. Anyway, tonight I wanted to do a video. Basically, I want to talk about a bunch of stuff really, and hopefully, depending on if anyone comes in here, we'll actually talk about some other stuff as well. And I'll take this coat off in a second because it's gonna get hot down here. But I wanted to talk about some horror Blu-rays that I think belong in everybody's collection. And before that, I'll give my initial thoughts on what I've seen so far of E3, because that happened today. The EA started their E3 thing today, and it sucked. It's pretty much it. That's that's my initial reactions to E3 so far. EA's conference was horrific. It was pretty horrible. And I'm a big gamer, so E3 is a big time for me. So nothing's really interested me yet. Hopefully tomorrow I'll do better with that. So what we're going to do right away is I'm going to actually just go in, do a list of like 12 movies in my collection that I think that everybody should have in their collection. If you're a fan of horror. Now some you may like better than others, but I want to do something different. And anyway, if you're in, I finally caught a live stream. Welcome to Tummy Films. You're the first person to comment on it today as well. So welcome here, and I hope you like this. It's a little different. I wanted to hopefully start a conversation going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some. First off, I'm going to talk about some movies in my collection I think are really good. Hey, Polly. I mean, what did you really expect from EA though? A little Skate 4. At least Skate 4. Is that too much to ask for? What I did not expect is to watch them play mobile games. That was boring. That was really frigging boring. They sat down and they played Command and Conquer on a phone. Well, somebody narrated it, like kind of like esports did, and not in a good way. It was really awkward, really, really awkward. All right, so let's start this off here, and you guys can chime in on the films if you yay or nay, if you agree or disagree, and if you get any ideas from the stuff that I put out here, feel free to say that, to just shout them out, or in all honesty, ask me any questions you want. So we'll start with which is probably the most obvious one, and that is Black Christmas. Everybody knows the Black Christmas by now. If you watch my channel even once, you know that this is my favorite film of all time. It's not just my favorite horror film or my favorite slasher film or my favorite, this is my favorite film. This is the movie that made me fall in love with movies. And came out in 1974. This is a Bob Clark classic with Keir Dullea, the late Margot Kidder, and Olivia Hussey. Just a fantastic one. Andrea Martin is in this one as well. We later go on to do SCTV, and she would have a part in the remake of Black Christmas called Black Xmas. But there's different versions of this out. There's like one I think from 101 Films out in the UK, if I'm correct. If you guys from UK can let me know if that's the company that put out Black Christmas over there. There is a Scream Factory release, which I do want to get down the road because there's one extra feature on it that I do want. Now this is the Canadian release of Black Christmas, and just so you know, it's not the same on the inside as is on the out. This is actually the inside cover, and it's probably the best looking release of Black Christmas I've ever seen, as in like this cover here. This is definitely, hands down, for me. I saw the Scream Factory artwork, not a big fan. It's okay, but I prefer this. I find this to be kind of more of a classic, kind of classy artwork for Black Christmas. Oh, Mark. I'm here. This film's a classic, yes, and I own the 101. Is the 101 Blu-ray good? There's a lot of features. Love it. I got Scream Edition, probably my favorite slasher. There. See, Tummy Films, you got that one in common. So it looks like everybody here has got Black Christmas. Now, this edition here is the Canadian edition. There is a ton of features on this, by the way. It is like, when you open up the feature page, it is blocked. There's almost nothing, no room for any like artwork or anything at all. It is just feature after feature after feature with commentaries and documentaries. It is stock full of stuff. And what's even really cooler about this is we got a horror magazine over here in Canada called Rue Morgue, which I'm sure you guys know, but it's kind of like Scream in the UK, if you've ever seen that. And hey, message retracted, guy. And I have, this is what came with it. This is the kind of like a mini Rue Morgue magazine, all on Black Christmas. I think it's done by Chris Alexander. I think was the at the time would have been the editor. Since that creeped me out when I was a kid so much. That was one of the most scary things I saw. And as you can see, this is the bonus feature list. All that stuff, that entire page. So we're looking at stuff from like new documentaries, interviews. Scream Factory Blu-ray has better special features than 101 Blu-ray. Scream Factory has one more feature than this one right here, actually, but they have some different features as well. There's like a Canadian documentary called On Screen, and I don't think it's on this release. I'm not sure. I think it is on Scream Factory release though. So I would have to double dip for that reason alone. I got to check the 101, like what it looks like. Oh, Guy Fieri. I love Black Christmas. I have the Canadian Blu-ray and Scream Factory Blu-ray. Guy After My Own Heart. Isn't it awesome? Don't you find the opinion? Scream Factory Blu-ray or the Canadian artwork? I am a big fan of the Canadian artwork. I just really like to look at that. One of the most terrifying scenes in any horror movie. I don't care. It is, bar none. Next up is a film here by Arrow Films. And it's one that gets a lot of Canadian arts better. Exactly, it is. Same with the editor. If you've got the editor, the Canadian release of the editor as well, by the way. That was one I was going to put in here. It's kind of like, but I plan to do like update lists and do other lists down the road. And the editor is one that's going to eventually be on one of those lists. And that has a great Canadian release. The artwork on that, on the Canadian release, is bar none by the best I've ever seen for that film. Next up is Eaten Alive. Now, this is a Tobe Hooper classic. It didn't get as much love back in the day because, well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre happened. And I think this one would have got a lot more love and a lot more attention if it hadn't come out kind of after Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It has a great cast. Neville Brand, who I'm a really big fan of actually, is in this one. Robert Englund. Yeah, Robert Englund's great now, and he plays Buck. And we know the first line of the movie. It's one of those lines you remember. But yeah, Robert Englund just turned 71 recently, so I thought it would be nice to mention Eaten Alive here. This is actually a really good release of it that Arrow put out, and a ton of features as well. And I think it has like a reversible artwork that's actually really good. So I'll actually show you that. And it's reversible artwork. I think that might be the same with the DVD art that I got on it actually, because I got a DVD of Eaten Alive as well. And I think it might have been from like Dark Sky or something like that. But Eaten Alive is one of those movies that I really, really liked, and I watched it a lot. I'm just a really big fan of Neville Brand. That's the same when I bought like the Vinegar Syndrome movie, Evils of the Night. I knew nothing about it at the time. I don't think I'd ever seen it. If I did, I didn't remember it. But I just heard Neville Brand's name was on it, and I just like that actor. He does these really kind of quirky parts, and he's really good in Eaten Alive. He's like, there's no surprise to say he's kind of the bad guy in the film. Next up is one that actually was so inspiring that it was the name of one of the kind of the video podcasts or vlogcasts that I used to do, and that is Nail Gun Massacre. This is a really cheesy bad movie, but it's a super fun cheesy bad movie. So if you've never seen Nail Gun Massacre, you owe it to yourself to see Nail Gun Massacre. If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you're going to know that I used to do like kind of a podcast with, my kids and stuff be over, and it was called the Buck 98 Special. That comes from the movie Nail Gun Massacre, because he's taking his girl on a date to go and have the Buck 98 Special. And it clearly states on the side that the Buck 98 Special, by the way, is like a grilled cheese and fries and a drink type thing. And he orders it, and because continuity is fantastic in this film, a few minutes later, he's having, I think, Wendy's is what it is. And it's like a burger and stuff like that. It's definitely not what's written on the sign as their Buck 98 Special. And that was actually why I named my podcast at the time, the Buck 98 Special. And if I ever do like an actual podcast again, and I actually do like one that I'm doing as an audio one that hopefully will get, I'll put on iTunes or something like that, it'll probably be called that. But Nail Gun Massacre is a fun little film. It's really cheesy. And it's not good, well acted. But I think the guy wanted to be Freddy Krueger, or he just wanted to be one of those type of characters, because he has these like insipid lines that he says that are hilarious, and it's obvious from the film. Spoiler alert for Nail Gun Massacre if you haven't seen it. The killer in the movie is definitely not the killer in the movie, and the best way I can explain that is when we see the killer. Almost all throughout the film, the shape and size of the killer is female, it's feminine. And when the killer is captured, well, not captured, but meets their demise at the end of the film, the killer's not. It's actually somebody completely different. And I think either it was changed at the last minute or they plan to do a sequel. And I still hear that there may be a sequel to Nail Gun Massacre, so let's hold it some hope. Maybe we get the Buck 99 Special. you know, inflation. Next up is one that not a lot of people talk about, and Linda Hayden did it. She was not a huge fan. Hope that Arrow Videos Blood Rage Blu-ray is on your list. Love that one. Not on this list. I actually had it in my hands though. Blood Rage is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorites that Arrow put out along that. And Blood Rage is one that I held off on this list because, and I'll tell you why. Because I want to do like a holiday list, and Blood Rage fits perfect for Thanksgiving horror. In case you're wondering why. I'm a huge fan of Blood Rage though. Got it in my collection, and it's one that I'm super stoked and happy that I got. There's Blood Rage, and the one came out around the same time, The Mutilator, which I also really love, by the way. So Blood Rage and Mutilator I recommend like highly. Now this one here is a very different film, and it's not for the kiddies, just in case there's any kiddies that watch my channel, and that is House on Straw Hill with Udo Kier. It's a really weird film, kind of strange, kind of different, but what really makes this release, and I'm pretty sure, I don't think this one's sold out, so see this here? See the sticker that I got on the back? Strictly limited edition. So the first 3,000 had a documentary on it, and it's a really good documentary that you owe it to yourself to have. And it is Ban the Sadist Video. So that's actually talking about the Video Nasties. I'm a really big fan of Video Nasties. Actually, I'll probably do a video on that down the road, my Video Nasty collection and my Video Nasty documentary collection. And as you can see, it has like both Blu-ray and DVD here as well. There is it's filmed, it's a little on the raunchier side. It's a lot on the raunchier side. But it's a strange film, a little bit like, I guess, psychological thriller, we're going to call it, House on Straw Hill. But it's one that I really like. And the year that I got it for Christmas, I was so excited that I got House on Straw Hill that everything else, even I had like Alfred Hitchcock box sets and all this kind of really cool stuff. But I just got overly excited about House on Straw Hill, and my better half was actually disappointed because she had the Alfred Hitchcock box set as a huge like surprise for me. But because I'm a weirdo, this one here actually I got more excited when I saw this than I did with the Alfred Hitchcock one, because I already knew I loved the Alfred Hitchcock one. I kind of suspected I'd get it. I never suspected I'd get this one, and it was a hard one to find. That's back when we had HMVs around here. Now, speaking of Severin releases, one other one, and I'm going to mention this one, although I'm going to be doing a Jess Franco video down the road. So for people that are waiting for that, it's still coming. And that is Vampire Lesbos by Jess Franco. It stars the late Soledad Miranda. It's probably Jess Franco's, for me, it's his best vampire film. I know that he did Count Dracula with Christopher Lee, and I find that a little slower and a little more long in the tooth than Vampire Lesbos. I actually find Vampire Lesbos to be a better film. That's got some great features on here. It's got like an alternate Spanish language edition of the film here as well. You got interviews. So a lot of the features that are on Vampire Lesbos are also on another Soledad Miranda film that came out at the same time called She Killed in Ecstasy, which is another really good film that'll be for another list. But if you haven't seen Vampire Lesbos from Jess Franco, actually it's really worth checking out. And I love this here case. Actually, the cool thing, I guess I can show this on here because it's not like nothing too raunchy, but it's just the kind of its artwork anyway. So you can't do it for art. You can't hit me for heart, YouTube. So basically, art. There we go. It's you can see it actually has just like the picture and no like writing on it. That's why this is. I like that. I'd like to see more like that actually, where you got like the unfettered artwork. Next up is one from the Vestron Collector Series, and one of my early favorites, because you guys know I'm a huge slasher fan, and this is definitely a slasher film, although it's kind of a different type of slasher film, and that is Chopping Mall. So originally, I think I saw this one because I think Barbara Crampton's in this, and I was a huge fan of Barbara Crampton, and I used to watch Head of the Class, and the guy that played Alan on Head of the Class was in this as well, actually. That'll show my age for you. Head of the Class was an 80s show with Howard Hessman, and later, after he left the series, Billy Connolly took it over. The show didn't go well with Billy Connolly when he took over, so the council started the Billy Connolly show, which got canceled right after that. TV trivia. But Chopping Mall is a really fun film. Some great features on here as well, by the way. It's pretty cheesy and of its time, but it moves really fast. And that's one thing I really like with Chopping Mall is like it's not a slow-paced film. It just goes... it's a short too. I think it's Wynorski that did this one, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure it's Joe Wynorski. Yeah, it is. So same guy that did. If you got the recent MVD release of Return of the Swamp Thing and you had fun with that, then that's by the same director. His later stuff can be a little hit and miss, but his early '80s stuff, and '90s stuff, Jim Wynorski stuff, Money, baby. Next up is a Grindhouse releasing one, and this is the best way that I think that you can get this film. This actually has a couple films on it, but I'm a huge fan of Lynn Lowry, who's actually in another movie that I'm going to show here in a few minutes, and that is I Drink Your Blood. This was the first movie that she was ever in. Actually, it's so early that they actually didn't give her a speaking role. She was actually kind of like the mute, like cult member. Late to the party. Did you show Maniac on Blue Underground yet? That's important. Not in this video. I don't. I have like the DVD of Maniac. I need to get the Blu-ray, but I got the special edition one with the Joe Spinell story on it. That's going to be in a different video because I don't have the Blu-ray Maniac yet. That's why. But it is one of. I really love Maniac. I'm a huge Joe Spinell fan. So you're going to see his stuff in my releases and like some of my list videos. It's a big one for me, and it's one that that I watched a lot when I was a kid. And especially when I got into like watching a lot of like effect scenes, and the scene with Tom Savini in Maniac where he, where Tom Savini gets killed when he gets his shotgun blast to the forehead was actually incredible. And I remember as a kid like just thinking that scene was like amazingly done, and it's kind of morose, but I actually watched it over a few times just kind of to see. Like, because it was on VHS, so it wasn't like the Laserdisc or DVD where you can actually take things frame by frame type of thing. But I actually would have loved at the time to take frame by frame and actually saw how it went. I would later go on to buy like the Grand Illusion books that Tom Savini put out, and of course, many years later, I actually would meet Tom Savini in person and get to talk to him a little bit about how he influenced me, and he really did influence me a lot. But get back to this one. I Drink Your Blood's actually a really fun film, though the person that causes all of this gets away with it. And I wish you hadn't. There's this little bratty kid in this film, and I understand why he does it, but he's like this little psychotic little brat that deserves a comeuppance at the end of the film that he doesn't get. And it's the only thing that bothers me about I Drink Your Blood is that I think he should have gotten it. I think he should have actually gotten his comeuppance. The zombies should have got to him too. And you can tell he's not finished. He's going to do more because he's one crazy kid. This one here is the Grindhouse releasing edition. There is a ton of features on here as well. There's actually 2 other movies on this release. We got, of course, the I Eat Your Skin, which was the one that came out in the drive-in. With it, it comes a double bill, which is not at all like it. I Eat Your Skin is a much different film than you think it is, actually. And there's one called The Blue Sextet, which I don't know if I've watched that one yet. It's a David Durston one. I know I saw it years ago, but I don't remember having seen it since I got this one. And this is a really good release, actually. I Drink Your Blood, if you haven't checked it out. Grindhouse releasing because of some great stuff. If you haven't seen their edition of Pieces, it was incredible. And one of my favorite films of all time is Pieces. Actually, the only reason Pieces is not here right alongside I Drink Your Blood in this video right here is because I actually recently showed it in a previous live stream. That's why it's not there. But Pieces is one of my favorite films of all time. I like some pretty cheesy movies, just to let you guys know. If you're new here, if you're not new here, you're gonna know that already. But if you're not new here, then if you're new here, you're about to find out. Next up is Takeshi Mikai's Edition. Love this film. Actually, I lucked out. A good friend of mine actually got me this one because this was actually out of print by the time this steelbook was, and I was actually a huge fan of the movie edition. Kiri. If you've never seen Edition, please go into it blind. Don't go into it having read anything on like Wikipedia or reading reviews on it. It's one of those movies that's best experienced if you go into it not knowing anything about it. Oh, 100% agree in Pieces. The 42nd Street documentary alone is worth the price. That is, and I got to do a documentary video one of these days because that's one of those documentaries that really, I watched it about 4 or 5 times, at least 4 or 5 times. And often now, I don't know if you ever got the Vinegar Syndrome release, Massage Parlor Murders, but that movie kind of shows 42nd Street. You get to see like 42nd Street back in the day. So I will often now, when I watch the 42nd Street Memories documentary, I'll often kind of like double feature it with Massage Parlor Murders. And it's actually a really good double feature because you get to see like the memories about 42nd Street, and then you get to see the movie Massage Parlor Murders, which would have played in one of those areas. And it actually shows a lot of 42nd Street back in the day. So just a thought, if you haven't picked up from Vinegar Syndrome yet, it's a really good release to get. Audition. Check it out. Pieces is one of my favorite movies of all time. I should have put it in this list, but I left it out there. I got a lot of like really cheesy favorite movies. I like this release. Synapse got some fantastic releases of this one out, but it's really expensive to buy the Synapse one. I'm not sure if they're still in print or not. But this one here was, for both of them, is like just a fraction of what you pay for the Synapse edition. And this is Demons here by Arrow Video. I really, really love this cover. And here is Demons 2. Now, I'm not sure if the single releases that they put out of these films with the comic book are still available. This is the steelbook that has both of the Blu-rays, but it doesn't have the comic book in it. So I actually want to get kind of like a single releases, or at least one single release of one of these films here that I know would have the Demons 3 comic book in it, because I want to have that as well. I've always been a huge fan of Demons. It's done by Lamberto Bava, produced, of course, by Dario Argento. And this is Bava's best work, in my opinion. Lamberto Bava's best work that he's ever done. Dario Argento, obviously, I think he helped like Helmet a bit. He definitely had a hand in it. But I'm not taking anything away from Lamberto Bava. He does a fantastic job in this film. Both of these movies are great. Some people just love Demons. They don't love Demons 2. I actually like them both. Demons has one of the best soundtracks, like horror movie, like music soundtracks from like any like of the especially 80s horror films that came out there. It just has a really kick-ass soundtrack with some fantastic music, and you would never, I don't think you'd be able to do it today and actually get a soundtrack with that many like just really good artists on there. And I really like it, and I love Demons 2 as well. This one actually I think has Argento's daughter in it, with Fiore, not is a Zia in it? I know Fiore's in it because but I think Zia's in it, right, too. She's in the car. But I'm pretty sure his other daughter's in this one as well. The one that's not usually in films. So if anybody knows for sure, let me know. But I know she's in it, and I think Isaiah's in it, but I'm not sure. Next up is one from Mondo Macabra, and it's one that I got and I watched, and I liked it a lot, and I immediately watched it again. So it's a different one. It's a German film. It's called, well, Der Fan. And there's been many movies called The Fan, but this one is probably the best of them. It's really different. It's a unique film. It goes in some different places than you may expect, and it did things that I didn't expect it to do. It's a film that pretty much, in that I can say, without any hyperbole, that entranced me when I was watching it, and I just couldn't take my eyes off it. I thought the acting in it was actually pretty damn good, especially the main lead. She was great, and the ending was disturbing, but really, really good. And it's actually some really good features on here as well. Great interview with the film's writer, director, producer, and that one did come with like both the DVD and Blu-ray. And as you guys probably know, is this one? I'm pretty sure this one's region free. So a lot of the Mondo Macabra stuff, a lot of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, when you get their stuff, they're usually region free. Now the last two are actually some Arrow steelbooks. One that caused controversy at the time, but has since become like known as being one of their better releases once they fixed it all up. And first off is Shivers. So when Shivers originally came out, there was a few seconds missing here or there, and man, did people like bitch about it at the time. But I bought it. I knew that Arrow was going to like fix it up, and they did. And they fixed it up brilliantly. Not only did they fix the release, but they actually fixed the documentary by putting some extra bonus stuff in the documentary as well. They sent it out like free of charge when they got the when we got the disc. But I was perfectly fine with the disc that I had until I got the new one, and then you don't want to go back. But Shivers is a Canadian film done by David Cronenberg, and it's a favorite of mine. When I saw this when I was really young, and being here in Canada, Shivers is one of those movies I got to see quite a bit. They actually showed a lot, and it terrified me when I originally watched it. It was kind of unique because it was like it dealt with horror and dealt with like body horror, and I was pretty young at the time, so it also dealt with sexuality, and there was like kind of messages with that, and it was just unique. It was a different film for me, something that I wasn't quite sure of, but I knew I loved it, and I couldn't explain why. And one of the things was, again, Lynn Lowry was in this film, and she is gorgeous. She is a gorgeous, gorgeous woman with a really unique, different look, just like it's hard to explain, but when you see Lynn Laurie, she has a different look about her, kind of her own unique look. A very beautiful lady. I think she's in like maybe in her 60s or 70s now, and she's still kind of maintaining a youthful, really kind of a youthful look. It's actually pretty amazing. But she still looks like she did when she was in Shivers, really. Just, a little bit older, but still she does look like the Shivers character. And her sequence in the Dead Ringers is your favorite Cronenberg film. I love Dead Ringers. I don't have Dead Ringers yet, though. You know that? Did did Scream put that one out? Did they? I think they did. I don't have it yet. I got to get it. That's with Jeremy Irons. That's the one I'm thinking of. I love Cronenberg stuff, but this is the only Shivers movie. This is the only Cronenberg movie that I'm going to show you. There's one other one, and since I already said Scream Factory Steelbook, you guys are going to know what it is. And that, of course, is the Marilyn Chambers film. Scream and the Australian Company released it. What's the better release? I like to try them both. I'd see them both. I'd probably get one, whichever one's cheapest, but I collect Scream Factory. Scream, yeah, I collect Scream Factory a lot, so I'm probably going to pick up the Scream Factory edition of Dead Ringers. It's one of those movies that the first time I saw it, I liked it, but I wasn't quite sure how much I liked it. It's one that, on repeated viewings, actually I found out it got better. I guess that's the best way I could put that. Rabbit is the other David Cronenberg one. I love his early stuff. And Rabbit that's a heartbreaking sequence in the film if you've seen this movie. It actually kind of gives away a lot. But not really, because at the beginning of the film. But still, I really liked this film. Shivers and Rabbit are great like companion pieces, and you can watch them back to back and kind of get a really good feel of like the early Argento. Yeah, you get a really good feel, even though this is Cronenberg, you get a really good feel of the early Argento stuff. Now you get a really good feel of the early Cronenberg stuff. And as you can see, the Arrow releases of both Shivers and Rabbit are two fantastic releases. And if you haven't seen it under this name, there's like a few different names for this one called It Came From Within. There's another one of the titles for it, Parasite Murders. You may know it with this here cover artwork as well. But do I like Cronenberg's Crash? I actually do. Hey, Aaron. Hey, you've with me a long time. I love Rabbit. I've been on Redemption films kick lately. Do I have any Redemption ones? Actually, I got I'm not sure if you can see back there. Probably we're not going to see well, but the top row is Al Kino on there, and not there. You can't see it from here, but the top row, kind of facing mirror there, is Al Kino releases, and there's a few Redemption ones. One thing I can definitely recommend with the Redemption releases is if you haven't checked out any of the Pete Walker stuff. I'm a big Pete Walker fan, and he put out some really great stuff. They put him out in volumes, but I got like volume 2, I think, and I've got the original releases of the other Pete Walker ones. Jean Rollins Vampire. Oh man, I'm so jealous. I want the Vampire Films collection. I got one of them, but in the Pete Walker collection. The Pete Walker collections are incredible. I actually didn't remember Schizo when I saw it, when I watched it again. And I'm glad I didn't. I know I saw it early on, but it's not one that I remembered, and I really enjoyed Schizo because my favorite Pete Walker one had often been like The Comeback. I actually really liked The Comeback. It was kind of a giallo, what I consider an English giallo film. And Sheila Keith was in it. Sheila Keith was in a lot of Pete Walker films. Of course, she's probably most famous for Frightmare. That's probably one of the biggest like known Pete Walker film out there. It's where Sheila Keith plays this kind of cannibalistic like older lady, and she does a really good kind of creepy job. There's a fantastic dream sequence in the movie Frightmare that actually creeped the heck out of me back in the day. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Redemption stuff. I don't have enough of it. I got a bit. There's a few hit and miss releases, but there's some stuff that I still need to check out. I got all the Pete Walker stuff. I think I got to get Kino put out like House of Long Shadows, which is a more comedic Pete Walker film. I don't think it's the Redemption one, but I do need to get that. But the other Pete Walker stuff, and I'm trying to think of any of the other Redemption stuff that I got there. Let me just see. Tell you what, I let you guys see my Redemption collection. So what I'm going to do, and don't leave, but I'm going to just unmic myself for a second. I'm going to get my Redemption stuff, and we're going to go through that. And you guys can let me know what you think of my Redemption collection. As small as it is, if I can actually get this thing off. that's the good thing about going live is that anything can happen, and we're still in the movie room. If anybody wants to know about a movie, all I got to do is on mic for a second and go check it out. So I got a bigger Redemption collection than I actually thought I had. These are my releases. I'll show you my DVDs and I'll show you my Blu-rays. So I'm a huge Jess Franco fan. The Awful Dr. Orloff is I think is one of Jess Franco's better films. It's an early release. It's different. It's not as like sexploitation as the original Jess Franco would get later on, but this is a really good release. If you haven't checked this one out, 13th Wolfman. And if you don't know 13th Wolfman, guys, he's a really great guy. Comeback was great. I love Flesh and Blood Show and House of Whitport and Frightmare. Flesh and Blood Show. Did you look at the 3D sequence? There's like a 3D sequence on Flesh and Blood Show. That's kind of like a Easter egg, sort of. It's on the Kino release. I'm sure you've probably seen it. The only Jean Rollin one I got, and this was on sale when I was ordering some other stuff from Amazon during Amazon Prime Day, and that was Shiver of the Vampires. I'm a big fan of the Jean Rollin films. I think they're really kind of atmospheric and they're moody. I know they're not for everybody, but I've always been a huge fan of Jean Rollin. I'm a huge fan of horror from other countries, probably more so than I am North American horror, like to be completely honest with you. What's really cool is that they have these like little books of this is Redemption, the Cinema Jean Rollin. And this one here, I think, I'm not sure if this deals with all his cinema or just with, I got to read this, I haven't read it yet. So, Frightmare was my favorite Pete Walker film. Isn't that a creepy one? Mark, Frightmare's creepy. That dream sequence, so creepy. All the fact you guys can actually not just talk to me, but actually talk back and forth. Yes, I saw it and it has a different feel. Shiver of the Vampires is one of the vampire films in the Jean Rollin collection. See, I'm not going to tell my better half this because I want her to buy me the Jean Rollin vampire collection, so I'll pretend that, and I'll buy the Blu-ray so she'll actually won't complain too much. All right, so the rest of them out here are all like Blu-ray releases. I don't have a lot here, but I'll show you guys what I got. This is one, I do like some of the nunsploitation stuff, and this is one of my favorite nunsploitation films of all time, and that is The Sinful Nuns of St. Valentine's. It might surprise you, but this movie actually for a while was on Netflix. You could actually watch The Sinful Nuns of St. Valentine on your regular Netflix account. That was really surprising to me. And I did. I watched it on Netflix because I'd seen it years ago, and it was one that I had remembered liking a lot. And something about it just stuck with me, and it's one that I watched. I've watched it several times. This is the one 13 Wolfman mentioned, and that is The Comeback. It took me a while to get The Comeback, and I'll tell you why. I don't like the cover to The Comeback. I've seen different covers for this film and different posters, and this, I don't think it, I know what it's coming from, but I don't think it represents the movie well. I think they could have done a better job with the Comeback cover, but it is one of my favorite ones. It just stands out. The Comeback is just something that, it does creep me out a lot, and maybe I'll watch that tonight, but I'm not sure. My better half's gone out of town, so it could be too creepy for me tonight. But again, it has like musician Jack Jones, and basically in an acting role. Pamela Stevenson's in this one. David Doyle. Do we have Sheila Keith in this one as well? I'm pretty sure she is. She's in a lot of his stuff. Sheila Keith in Comeback, 13th Wolfman, I think she is, right? Agree with the cover for your copy of The Comeback. Mine was just in the collection. Yeah, the thing is that I bought like a bunch of these. If you've ever gone to a site called DVD Beaver, I go on there a lot, like especially when I want to like compare like different movies, features, and stuff like that. So I used to talk to the guy that ran the site, and he was like trying to like make some money up, like for kind of like funding for the site, and he was selling off some films, and some of the stuff that I bought were some Redemption releases. I'm not sure. I think The Comeback though, I bought this one I think at HMV when it was closing out, and yeah. Now, Die Screaming Marianne actually has a decent cover, and I'm not going to lie, I love Susan George, and she is a fantastic actress. She's a beautiful lady, but Die Screaming Marianne is one of the more boring Pete Walker films. It's a hard sit-through. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember not really enjoying it as much as I did a lot of his other stuff. I found it a little bit slower and a little bit more tedious. Now, you may totally disagree with me, which is fine. But I do like Susan George, of course, but I think I expected more out of it because of her as well, and because the name Pete Walker was behind it. One that I really like that I think people don't give enough credit to is Schizo. Though the title kind of gives away a big portion of the film, but I just really liked it. It was just I turned it on. I didn't go in like with much expectations, and it came out like actually really enjoying the film. So Pete Walker's Schizo is actually a really good release. I actually liked it a lot. This is one I think everybody that sees once they see it, they actually they like it. Some people expect a different thing. He actually plays Mrs. B in the comeback. I knew it. See now, the Ice Cream Mary is not so bad compared to Man of Violence. Mark Stewart likes Schizo like me. Right on. Man of Violence. You know, I won't be honest. I haven't watched that one yet. I got it on my set, but I haven't got through that one yet. I can just watch the horror stuff. I'll get to the other stuff later on, but I just seen the horror stuff so far. Is Man of Violence that bad? But House of Whipcord, again, this is a beautiful looking cover, beautiful release. This one does have Sheila Keith too, like in it as well, and she does a great job. But like the guy that plays the, oh God, I don't remember his name, but he plays the kind of the head in it. I don't know, the warden, minister, whatever you want to call him. He does a really good job anyway. It's just a really good job. But if you've never seen this one here, you definitely should. Just slow and kind of odd when it comes to the plot. Which one, House of Whipcord or Dash Green Marianne? See, Dash Green Marianne, I see, is kind of slow. House of Whipcord, I actually kind of liked it a little bit better than that. But I can agree that they get, hey, Movie Mac. You're going on vacation soon. How far is it away from your Las Vegas vacation? Jealous over that. Next up is one that's not very good. I'm not going to lie, it's got a fantastic cover. And often when you see a movie that has a great cover, it may not be the best release in the world. Sometimes it's something to go by. If you've ever lived through the VHS days, then you know. Schizo's good, Mark. Man of Violence is slow and odd. Plot is, oh, Man of Violence. See, oh, Movie Mac, I asked you if you were getting ready for Las Vegas. You're going to Las Vegas, right? Viva Las Vegas, baby. That was such a bad impression. Oasis of the Zombies. Does this not have a gorgeous cover? Does it not have Jess Franco's name on it? Are you expecting like copious August? Not too bad. Not too far off. Couple months. How gorgeous does this cover look? Do you expect a kick-ass zombie film, or at least one with copious amounts of blood and nudity? Nope, not gonna happen. Jess Franco's Oasis of the Zombies has none of that. There's actually a sequence in the film with two like same-sex couple, two girls camping, and Jess Franco does not take advantage of that fact in his film. What? This is Jess Franco. This is the exploitation guy. Yeah, this one was a bit of a letdown. So 13 Wolfman. I'm a completist, so I'll eventually have all the redemption ones, but this is one of the tamer ones. And I'm pretty sure this is how 13 Wolfman has it, and that is the Pete Walker Collection. This is volume 2. It's got the Flesh and Blood Show, one of the movies I need to get, Oyster Zombies. You kind of need to get it, but it's a bit of a disappointment. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's 2 zombie movies that came out at the same time. So there's Oasis of the Zombies and another one. The other zombie movie is better than Oasis of the Zombies. Just to let you know, it's worth owning and watch. Hey, Joe Kraft, finally caught out one of your live streams. Yeah, I actually was going to do this one. I promised a Saturday live stream, so I'm keeping my promise and going ahead with my Saturday live stream. Both volumes of the Pete Walker Collection. The other is Zombie Lake. Zombie Lake's a better film than Oasis Zombies. So if you're on Zombie Lake, then Oasis Zombies is way worse than Zombie Lake. Saw something a few days ago. Have you ever thought about doing a meet and greet for your viewers? A meet and greet? You mean them like an in-person thing or a convention or? Zombie Lake's John Roland. I should know that. I don't have Zombie Lake. That's another one of the ones I need. Zombie Lake's not in the collection. That's the Vampire Collection, right? I do have like a Jezebel over there. Hi, Aaron. Do you think we'll see Wolverine in the next Deadpool movie? Love the channel. Thanks a lot, John. If we see Wolverine in the next Deadpool, if they do a next Deadpool movie, it'll all depend on who's going to be owning the rights to all the stuff at that time. If there's another Deadpool movie and doesn't go for an X-Force thing, then I would say if there is a Wolverine that's ever in a Deadpool film, I don't think it's going to be Hugh Jackman. I think it'll be somebody recasted as Wolverine by that time. But we'll see how that goes. I kind of want to see some like grown up X-23. I'm a fan of that character, but I'm a big like I'm Canadian, so Wolverine's like a big deal to me. That was like it's one of our heroes. And actually, Wolverine is about as Canadian a character as you can get. He's like wears, especially in the early stuff, wearing flannel, drinking beer, getting into fights. No, it's not in the collection, but a good amount of his movies are in the Redemption films. Yeah, there's also another person. What's his name? Dominique Othard, Gerard. Oh God, it's gonna kill me. I got a couple of his movies in BFI in my BFI releases, and because I wanted to get some too, but they're in Redemption as well. But this is the other one, by the way, guys, and there are some good films here. Like House of Mortal Sins, actually pretty good. That's the one with the priest, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Frightmare, Flesh and Blood Show. Frightmare is the one you see on the cover there. That is the like a drawing of Sheila Keith. There's some decent features on here. Now the bonus disc has Man of Action, which is the one that 13 Wolfman says like actually really kind of a slow one. And it also has one called The Big Switch. And I have not watched either one of those films, to be completely honest. And I don't even know if I've ever seen them before. But I've always gone for a lot of the Pete Walker like horror exploitation stuff. I think I've watched Home Before Midnight. I'd have to watch it again just to see though. I don't remember if I know that's not a horror one. It's more of like a drama when it comes to. I really should have did my hair better before I came on here. But the Pete Walker Collection Volume 2 is one that I really enjoy. Now I do have one other. It's not a Redemption one, but it's the Jezebel line. There's a Jezebel line, which is kind of like a kind of a sexploitation type of line. I loved if La La Land Records would release the Nighthawk soundtrack. Oh, yes. Nighthawks, as you know, because you watched the stream, I think that I talked about it in. Nighthawks is a favorite. Again, that's another favorite of mine. One thing you're going to find out when you're watching these stream series, you're going to find out some of my favorite films. And Nighthawks is one of my favorite action films. I'm a huge Rutger Hauer fan, and I love the soundtrack to that film. Somebody asked here on a recent stream what some of my favorite soundtracks are, and I'm actually starting to compile a list. The interviews with Pete Walker in the collection are cool, but he likes to take his time telling a story. He does, and he does like to tell a story. But the good thing, the interviews they're not too long. You know what I mean? They're shorter. Not like I remember I got like a release. What was it? It was not Russ Meyer, but the guy. This is going to sound odd to say. That likes butts. Tinto Brass. I think it was Tinto Brass Collection, and there's an interview with him like on a bonus disc, and it's just like it's not like a documentary. It's like an interview with Tinto Brass, and I think it runs like 2.5 hours long or so, and it's just him sitting down in front of a camera like talking, which is fantastic. But just know going in, because if you go in thinking it's going to be like a Tinto Brass documentary, and then you expect like the talking heads and scenes from the movies and stuff, and instead you get to sit down and watch like Tinto Brass, pretty much like me, just talking about his films in front of the camera for for a couple hours, then it can be a bit like, so that's where they went with this with this feature. They saved a bit of money, but you got to hear like Tinto Brass talk about stuff that he did. Now, as far as people like that go, like the kind of the more, I keep going back. What's the Redemption one I had? Not Redemption, but Jezebel. Schoolgirl Hitchhikers, not Schoolgirl, something like that. It's done by Jean Rollin, I think. For a while, it was the only Jean Rollin I had until I ended up getting that this here Shiver the Vampire DVD. I think it's called Schoolgirl Hitchhiker, something like that. So I'm not sure if you guys have ever picked up any of the Jezebel collection as well, but that's also another kind of like offshoot label that Kino does. Redemption is their horror label. Deals with a lot of like kind of stuff, especially like foreign horror. You're going to see a lot of their stuff there, like Jean Rollin, Pete Walker, just different people. And I'm trying to look around here to see if my BFI stuff is around here, so I can actually show you what I'm talking about. There were a couple films that they put out, like Trans something Express, I think. I'm gonna get up again, ain't I? Yep, I'm going to get up again. I'll be right back. I apologize if any of my comments go off topic. No, there is no set topic. Here's the thing. Oh, Trans Euro Express. Do you know the name of the director? I'm trying to remember. You saved me. It's 30 Wolfman for getting up again. Trans Euro Express, and there was another one that BFI put out. I was up in England during like the BFI. They had like their yearly like film festival, and because of that, FOPS and I think HMV2 had like these had a bunch of BFI DVDs on their right at the front counter, and they're all for like $1.50, like well £1 50 pence or whatever, £2 each usually, and I bought like a bunch of them. I wish I would have bought more actually, because when I got home and I saw some of the BFI stuff, the BFI flip side stuff that I picked up, stuff like Sleepwalker, uh, and of course the one that I always recommend, which is Deep End. And the features that were in that one. Deep End, by the way, guys, I can't say this enough. If you've never seen the movie Deep End, it's a different film. It's not what you think it's going to be. It's like if you went in during the Vinegar Syndrome sale that just recently ended, and you picked up Malibu Beach, and you got it, and you saw this like sexploitation type cover, you're in for one hell. Alain Robert Grillet. Grillet? Is it Grillet? Am I pronouncing that right? Grillet? I'm going to say Grillet because it sounds French. That's the director I'm talking about, 13th Wolfman. You know your stuff. I know you know your stuff. Your videos show that you know your stuff. Not sure. We'll say it is. Unless he comes on here and corrects me, and I'm not sure if he's around now, but we're going to go with that. Or if anybody knows personally, then you can let me know for sure. Because when it comes to getting some of these, when my better half's around, like where she does know several languages, she can actually help me when it comes to some of the pronunciations. But me, I know English, and I'm trying to learn French, and so yeah, I'm not the best. Sometimes I can butcher a name or two, and I apologize ahead of time when I do that. Breaking news: Bill Lustig just announced the negative for Maniac was found in a scan for a 4K release. Good you waited. Oh yes, Andrew. Maniac's a good one. I hope he puts all the features that were on the last one. I'm a huge Joe Spinell fan. Will it get a 4K release or a Blu-ray release? I wonder. Will they give it a 4K and put it on a Blu-ray, or they actually get it a 4K release? I would love to see some of the genre companies put it some. How do you guys feel about some of the companies like Arrow or Scream Factory or 88 Films or Blue Underground or any of those films putting out like some 4K releases? I just, well, as you guys know, Christmas time is when I dived into like the whole 4K swimming pool of things, and I think that there's not enough like genre releases on 4K. I think that we'd have a lot more people that collect a lot of people that collect physical media are genre collectors. Did you hear that Christine 1983 is getting a 4K Blu-ray release? No, America, I did not know that. Is that a UK release? Well, the good thing is 4K releases are unlike Blu-ray releases or DVD releases. There's no region on them, which I actually was one of the reasons I ended up getting 4K in the first place. But I think that a lot of people that collect now are this is why we're seeing some USA. Oh wow, do you know who's doing that? I know Sony owns the rights to it, so I'd be guessing Sony. I'm still swimming in the Blu-ray pool. I do not think we'll ever jump into the 4K. It's getting cheaper, 13th Wolfman. It's getting a lot cheaper actually. That's why I went into it. How many films? I don't have the 4K yet, but I'd be open to them doing 4K releases. I think they'll have to eventually. That's the thing. If they want to, if 4K is going to work, it's going to have to cater towards the collector's market a lot more. 35th anniversary. Yeah, correct, Sony. I knew it was going to be Sony. So they put all the features from the last one. Because I bought the Blu-ray when Sony put it out. I was just so happy that Twilight Time didn't have the stranglehold on and stuff anymore. But I think the success for 4K, like down the road, definitely is getting at more genre releases. Because when you look at all the stuff, all the big stuff that comes out, all the collector's editions and all that stuff, we're not getting collector's editions of the latest movies. Not like, we're getting like from super movies and stuff like that. But when you're looking at collector's editions and big sets and people like getting excited about stuff that actually buy physical media nowadays and aren't just like watching Netflix or doing a streaming service. I'm picking up Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation and Exorcist, both of them. I'm picking up both of them, and I'll tell you why. A lot of people bitched about Exorcist 2, and I'm not going to tell you Extras 2 is a good film. It's not a good film. But do I think it deserves a Scream Factory release? Yeah. The only person you actually feel sorry for is that Dan cab driver gets killed in the end of The Exorcist too. But that, and it has like Linda Blair, and you guys know Linda Blair. I got the Linda Blair thing going on. And as for like Texas Chainsaw Massacre: Next Generation, as bad a movie as that, as a lot of people like when they talk about it is, man, Matthew McConaughey kills it in that movie. He does. He's like so entertaining, in that film, he's just like, you can see like early what you see, the kind of the genius of Matthew McConaughey, like this kind of like he goes to places and he gets into characters in ways that I find some actors wouldn't dare to do. And I'll give you a good example of that now. Recently, they put out Suicide Squad with Jared Leto playing the Joker, and a lot of people thought, okay, Jared Leto's a really good actor. He's an Academy Award-winning actor, or at least nominated, right? So, definitely a great choice for the Joker. You can go and bring stuff to it. Jared Leto ended up not really taking much of a chance with the character, playing it pretty safe, and just pretty much just being like a whiny little bitch with, pardon my French, with the whole, with the way that he played the character. And he just really annoyed his coworkers and came across as not the best in the role. Now, he didn't have a lot of like time as the Joker in the role, and he definitely was hampered by the look that they gave them. It was a really horrible look for the character Joker in Suicide Squad. Damaged, really? Really? That's what this kind of Joker's going to put on his head? I don't think so. Which led a lot of people to think before the movie came out that the look was because he wasn't really the Joker, because he didn't come off looking like the Joker. They did a lot of fan service in the film by putting him in like a lot of different costumes that the Joker had in the comic books, but he didn't take it far enough to really like own the character. Got the Extras 2 and Extras collection. It looks fine in the collection. Did you hear that they're giving the version? Yes, I did. Do you think that they'll change his look? The thing that people complain about the most. That's one thing that could draw some people in. There's a couple Joker films coming out. One is being done by. Has it been confirmed? You don't think they'll change his look? Then I'm not down for it. Like that's something I will stream on Netflix, unless my better half wants to buy it on 4K, because we won't go to the theater and see like a Jared Leto Joker movie. Like if I missed Black Panther in theater, which is a fantastic like superhero film, because I was working and moving at the time, then there's no way in hell I'm going to go see like a Jared Leto Joker film in the theater. I don't care how good it kind of looks, because honestly the look of the Jokers is ridiculous. If they have the same director, you've lost me already, because that director didn't know the characters. I think they'll keep his look to make it different from the other Joker film. Now the other Joker film is, it confirmed, like I heard Willem Dafoe is one of the names that I heard bandied about for the other Joker film, the Scorsese one, right? I think it's Scorsese. If Dafoe plays the Joker, yeah, I can see that. Both of them are confirmed. Okay, excellent. Mate, what do you think about the new 40th Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis coming out this October? As a fan, it's going to be amazing. I'm really, really vocally for the new Halloween film. The trailer was incredible. I got in an argument with somebody on Facebook today about the Halloween film, because they showed the stupid meme, and I'm hoping I don't offend anybody, but they showed like, oh look, these scenes here are also in other Halloween films, and yet you're not, the other Halloween films aren't in this continuity. How can you do that? Well, it's called a homage, and we do it all the time in films. The fact that they're going like closer to what the director wants, what the original director wants with Halloween, and are still like respectful enough to homage the other films that are out there that may fall outside of the outside that timeline, that continuity. It's not the first time that the continuity is splintered off. It's the best thing for me that's ever happened to Halloween, because we can get rid of the biggest thorn in the Halloween franchise, and that is, hey look, it's his sister. That doesn't work in the series that well. And I know I'm probably like a dissenting voice when it comes to that, but I think that's what kind of hindered the series and kept it from like kind of growing. Because the first film, the first Halloween film, when you watch it, there's no reason for him killing the people that he kills. There's no reason for him plain and simply evil. There's no remorse. There's nothing left inside, and whatever happened to that kid, we're never supposed to know. He's just killing. He escapes. He goes back to his town. He starts to kill. Jamie Lee Curtis just happens to be the survivor. There's no reason for it. There's no like. There's no big planned out reason. I didn't want to know. It scared me, the fact that this person could kill. Aaron, are you making a list of these horror blues you think all fans should own? I am. I'm doing like a bunch of these. I'll do like I'll show some of the stuff in a minute. I also did my redemption collection as well tonight. So I'm doing like a bunch of different ones. I'm going to be doing like a bunch of like these horror films that I think everybody should own. So this is like the first of like a series of lists that I'll do every once in a while. And I'll be honest with you, my first reasoning behind doing this list is because I didn't have a topic or a director that I wanted to go with tonight. So I looked at some stuff and I went there. I've only liked 3 Halloween films, parts 1 to 3. I did not mind him being the brother. I liked the fact that he was the incarnate of evil. See, that's it. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. I think that making him the brother, giving him a reason for going after Jamie Lee Curtis, takes away from him from the pure evilness of the character. It gives him a face, and I don't mean just like it literally gives him like a face and identity. And we saw it like later on that would be done horribly when they would like really dive into his like, oh look, who is Michael Myers? He's a really whiny kid. That's who Michael Myers is, with a horrible family life. That wasn't in the original Halloween film. All we know is that his sister was babysitting him. He killed her. He went. He didn't speak for years. He's inhumanly patient. He escaped. He's evil. Then the sequel comes along, and Sam Hain is written on a chalkboard, and all of a sudden Jamie Lee Curtis is his sister. I like Halloween's 1 to 5. See, I do like the films, but I don't think that I have to remember that Texas Chainsaw Massacre also stands for TCM. Stands for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can always remember Turner Classic Movies, but forget it stands for Horror Film Series as well. Turner Classic Movies are one of my favorite movie channels, bar none. I'm gonna hurt my horror crit a bit, but I actually sat down like on a day that I had off and I watched like a whole bunch of Andy Hardy movies, the Mickey Rooney, and like they did a marathon. So for people that see me as a hardcore horror guy, yeah, I did. I sat down and watched the Andy Hardy marathon. I would love to get that. But Turner Classic Movies, the next generation. But yeah, no, I'm definitely getting the next generation one as well. Watch Westerns on TCM. Westerns, oh, yeah, because I don't have enough Westerns in my collection, so I do have to. And I like film noir, and I'm a big fan of like classic pre-code cinema. Mickey Rooney and the Andy. Oh yeah, it's Andy Hardy. I'm right, it's Mickey Rooney. It's Andy Hardy. Love the Andy Hardy films. Favorite line in an Andy Hardy film is, "I pulled a bone." Yeah, there's a whole Batman comic book, and you've seen it online. I know you've seen it online through the Wolfman. The Joker's boner, and it's like, oh no, Batman's talking about Joker, like he makes a mistake, and Joker very much, oh no, I pulled a boner, and Batman's like, oh, I'm gonna make sure that's the whole storyline. Just look it up. It's hilarious, like unintentional, like unintentionally funny comic book panels. There's one where there's this like evil guy and said, no, now the people, the people, I've done something to you so that the people that you love, that you've touched, are doomed. And you got like Superman's like, oh my God, Lois, and like, and like Green Lantern's like Carol, and like Bruce Wayne's there, oh no, Robin, which sounds really wrong, but you know what I mean. Anyway, a bit of a turn there. But no, I'm a huge fan of the Andy Hardy films. That's where the whole like Archie kind of came from. And for people that don't know, they released did they? 2-volume sets. I gotta look for that. I'm a really big fan of the Andy Hardy films. I didn't know that they actually released them. Are they still available, or are they out of print things right now? But I'm a big fan of Riverdale, and I didn't think I was going to be. I was kind of like nervous on it a bit, and I just like it's super kind of campy and cheesy and fun. But the character of Jughead on Riverdale, I relate to a lot actually from my childhood. So if you want to know what like young Aaron was like as a kid, that's pretty much it. That's what without I was like in a biker gang, but the rest of it, writing all the time, kind of to myself a lot, still a little awkward, a little rough around the edges, bit of wrong side of the track stuff. Yeah, that's young me before I grew up and became the movie guy that you know today. Uh, I was going somewhere with this, wasn't I? I keep getting. You guys can throw me back on track if I forget the answer to a question. If I start answering something and then I go off on something else, bring me back, reel me in, because I'm a little all over the place when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, the Texas TCM, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation one, love that. The Exorcist one, I'll get that because I'm a big Scream Factory fan, and I'm not a fan of some stuff too. Riverdale is cool. They're still available on Amazon USA. Yep, I love Riverdale. I'm glad I got another Riverdale fan here. Some people like don't watch it. Do you know what I watch? And this is not a lot of people. I watched Dynasty. I can't believe you tried to stop the jingle jangle epidemic when you were younger. I know, not that. But yeah, I Andy Hardy films are still available. I got to check that out. TCM put that out, so that's not going to be on their TCM website that I can't order from. Is it? That'll still be. I'll check Amazon see if it's there. It's not one I'm going to be able to get right away, but I was always a really big fan of the Andy Hardy films. So I found. Do you find they get kind of like some that get a little preachy? Because Amazon USA. I'll check them out. I'm an Amazon CA guy, but again, we got to pay a little more Amazon USA, so it'll depend. I'll check the price range on them. I'll thank you, by the way, because I had no idea that those were available. But there's one that I watched that day, and Andy Hardy is like, so if you've never seen Andy Hardy, he's kind of like the prototype for Archie Andrews. He's played by Mickey Rooney, and he's always in girl troubles and stuff like that. So there's usually like a message to the films. But anyway, so he goes to he's not going to go to college instead or university. Instead he's going to go get a job at this place. And he gets a job, and he meets this girl. And she's a secretary, and she's kind of sexy, and she kind of wants to, but she's kind of like the wanton, like the temptress. And his dad it was a judge, Judge Hardy. He kind of comes in town and says, you know, I know that she's a really attractive girl, but maybe you shouldn't be with her. Maybe if you're with this girl now, you're cheating on your future wife. And and I'm like, are you kidding me? are we going there? So yeah, that was the moral, is that by not being with this other girl, and then at the last minute, just to show that she was, I guess, kind of like the not so nice girl, they had her like have a secret ex-husband, or like she was like divorced or getting divorced, like, so that made her even more evil. And and then she started saying like kind of not so nice stuff about like Andy Hardy's dad, just to cement it that he couldn't cheat on his future wife with dating right now. So I guess maybe mores and stuff were different back then, but apparently dating and stuff was not something that was looked, maybe it was getting more into dating. They wanted, like, for kids, they wanted to say, premarital sex, oh no, type of thing. I watched Heredity today. It was amazing. Highly recommend it if it's playing there in Canada. I want to see it. My better half doesn't watch horror movies. I'm not sure. I've mentioned that on here a few times actually, and unless if it shows up in the drive-in, like we go to the drive-in theater a lot. We got a drive-in here in Nova Scotia. I found out recently that a guy that we watch on here, Phelan Phalis, if you guys know, does a lot of like reviews and stuff. Actually, is originally from Halifax, which is just about 4 hours drive from this. My kids are going to be. Now I don't think he lives there now, but that's where he's from. Much in the way that I'm from Newfoundland and now live in Nova Scotia. He's originally from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and he, as far as I know, he still dates Obscura Lupa. Oh, Alison Pregler, who's one of my favorite peeps in the world. Got to drive a couple minutes away too. That's good. You have a drive-in. Not as many drive-in theaters as there once was. It's a shame actually. And one of the big selling points for me when we were like thinking about moving here is we were driving through and we saw this drive-in, and we got to see double features and triple features. They have sometimes they do like an all night. Basically, you go in there, and the price of the drive-in is $20 for the two of us, right? So, and that's it, $20, period. So if it was four of us in a car, it's still $20. If it's one person car, it's $20, and that's not for one movie. That's for as many movies as is playing the drive-in. So one night we stayed there. We watched Baby Driver, and we got to see the new Spider-Man film, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and we also got to see Annabelle. So it was a weird combination. But I didn't know a lot about Baby Driver going in, so I probably wouldn't have looked at it before. I think I was dating an older woman of experience. Oh yeah, for Andy Hardy. I saw Red Dead and really dug it. Yeah, seems to be more drive-in theaters in the East Coast U.S. Drive-ins are something that I'd like to see make a comeback, where a lot of people are going towards Netflix and a lot of people are going towards streaming sites, and not so many people are going to the theaters anymore. You're finding that. I'm finding that anyway. Totally random question, but have you seen Black Roses? Just picked up Snaps DVD years ago. The only time I've seen Black Roses on VHS. So if you want to quiz me on it, I don't remember Black Roses. I remember the cover of Black Roses really well. They had an embossed cover, and it was on one of those, if I'm correct, one of those rock and roll horror type films, right? And I remember digging it back in the day, and it's like one that I've always wanted to pick up. I didn't know Snap. Yeah, Snaps put that out, right? That's one of the earlier releases, isn't it? The Black Roses one. I didn't know that. Savannah, welcome back. It's quite a large drive-in here in Sacramento where I live, but it's not all that great. I'm pretty partial to the one in Pismo Beach here in California. Dude, I'm jealous of where you live. Just saying that right now. I live on the East Coast of Canada. What are we all talking about? Well, we've been talking about a lot of stuff tonight. We're talking about drive-in theaters. We talked about like horror movies. We talked about Andy Hardy films. Savannah, if you know what those are. A little bit about like Heredity. People are recommending the new Heredity film, and that I haven't seen yet. I had signed the cover of Rue Morgue, the latest Rue Morgue that I got anyway, has Heredity on the cover of it. And when I went to see Strangers They Pray at Night, Heredity was the trailer that they showed, and it was scary. It was scarier than Strangers They Pray at Night, but Strangers They Pray at Night was never meant to be a scary movie. It was meant to be like an 80s slasher homage. I think that's what threw a lot of people when they went to see the Strangers film. They expected it to be like the kind of like the first film, and it totally knew that it couldn't out creep the first Strangers, so they went in a completely different direction with the film. But apparently, Heredity is a good film, so that's one that we've all been looking at. Now, for the people that came in late, that's my Kino Redemption. That's the Kino's horror line collection. A lot of Pete Walker there. And just before going further, so we go to a lot of drive-in movies. So if Heredity shows at the drive-in, I'm definitely going to be seeing it. And I'm not going to tell her too much about it because I know it's going to freak her out just a little bit. So I'm going to make sure she doesn't watch this live stream. Just saying. So we have a drive-in just 17 miles from me. Can't say how long I'm going out shopping, plus I'm getting your movie. Thank you, Savannah. I'm actually kind of curious what that is. Surprised you're buffering. Am I buffering tonight? It actually seems to be going pretty good here. So far on my side anyway. Now, it's maybe a little rainy outside, so if my stream is a little iffy, let me know, guys. Because everything seems to be looking okay here. I guess maybe the chat room here might cause some buffering. For me, it's been going pretty good. But I do like the fact that we can chat on here, and I do like the fact that people get to see each other. I'll be getting yours when I get back from vacation. And by the way, Movie Mac, Savannah, if you guys don't mind, I'll be unboxing your stuff on here with like live on here. I'll shout you out and mention you guys on Movie Mac, your channel and that. Savannah, if you do like a channel, if you ever do like Survivor channel and stuff. I'm still interested in seeing like those pictures now. I gotta look at my Gmail tonight. I haven't checked to see if like you sent a response back or sent any more pictures. I haven't actually. It's been a busy day. So and it's my day off. I don't mind at all. Thank you. Oh, perfect. So no, so I will. Your name will be in like the title as well, and because it is much appreciated. I hope you enjoy your trip to Las Vegas. Take pictures, dude, and let us see. But not pictures of things that you know. That stay in Vegas, because you know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. cheesy line. Other movies that I think, movies that I mentioned before, movies that I think should be in everybody's collection. I mentioned the Shivers and Rabbit, the David Cronenberg films that I am a huge fan of. I mentioned the movie The Fan. If you haven't seen this one, I do recommend that film. And of course, the Argento Demons films. But I got to say, I got to check here on something. Because the one thing that I promised I was going to do, because I keep going to do this, another random one, but have you seen White Dog? If so, would you consider it a horror film? Samuel Fuller, right? Yeah. On Rabbit. Shivers I still need to get. Shivers is really good. It's got Lynn Lowry. Lynn Lowry's, I'm a big fan of Lynn Lowry. I've got a huge crush on Lynn Lowry, actually. I love the fact that she's on my Instagram, actually. She's PM'd me a couple times, and with really nice comments. And she's actually liked some of my pictures. So as a fanboy, I geeked out on that. But yeah, I would consider White Dog a horror film. It's definitely a horror film with a social message. Have you made a video on movies that need Blu-ray releases? If not, you should do a live stream of that one day. I haven't yet. People have asked me to do that, actually, and I keep saying I'm going to. I got to do the research to see because there's so much stuff that I had a list done up once of movies that I think deserve a Blu-ray release, and a lot of them are out on Blu-ray now, and I'm not complaining about that. It just means I got to make another list. Scream for Help, for instance, is one of the movies that I thought should have one. I was seeing a movie called The Lamp. Is that The Outing? Hold on. I'll show you something. The Scream Factory had a sale a while back. They had these kind of all-night horror movie marathons. And I got these because around Halloween, probably this year, I wanted to reviews on films. And I am pretty sure that The Lamp, the movie you're talking about, is this one right here. The Outing. It came out on Scream Factory put it out with What's the Matter with Helen, The Vagrant. Yeah, I knew it. The Swarm should get a Blu-ray. The Swarm should get a Blu-ray release, actually. What's this one here again? Godsend, right? Godsend and The Outing. And they're just on 2 discs. It's pretty much unfortunately there was another name to it. So The Outing, so The Lamp was another name for it. True Lies needs one. Yes, right. The Outing is known as The Lamp. Right here it's called The Lamp. What do you think's a better title? The Outing or The Lamp? What do you prefer? It's about a genie, right? I'm pretty sure it's about a genie. It's the one I saw. Yeah. So The Lamp kind of actually suits a little bit better than The Outing. But I guess The Outing, they kind of wanted to give it from that poster. I could see they almost kind of wanted to give it a kind of Friday the 13th horror, kids camping type of feel to it. And I think that's probably why they went with that. How did I know with the Outing? I guessed. The other one that they put out, by the way, was this one right here. And Dungeon Master was a movie I really liked when I was a kid. Cellar Dweller was another one that had one of the stars from the series I used to watch, Head the Class, and Condemnation's Heaven and Catacombs. But those were the 2 they put out. I hope they put out more of these in the future. I do kind of like these, their own DVD-only releases. And they're slowly putting these out on Blu-ray as well. I think Warner Archives has a Swarm, so we'll get a Blu-ray. Oh yeah, definitely will then. They're slowly going to Blu-ray with their titles. Warner Archives does that. I wish they'd put more stuff onto their titles. I'm a huge fan of The Hunger. The Hunger is the only Blu-ray of Warner Archives that I got. And I only managed to get that one because HMV was closing out. And I really love the movie The Hunger. Actually, I'm a big David Bowie fan. And it's kind of one of those stylistic vampire films that I actually do like. So I went to HMV and I said, okay, when it goes down a little bit more during the sale, when it's selling out, I'm going to get it. And it's sold out. And I was like, oh, damn it, I'm not going to get this movie now. But then all the other HMV, because the HMV in St. John's was the most profitable HMV in Atlantic Canada, all the other HMVs that were closing down sent all their stuff there. Hey, 30 Wolf Man, thank you for coming on, man. And I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you again soon in a live stream. Everybody say hi to 13 Wolfman and say see you because if you haven't checked him out, really great guy. Night of the Demons needs a release, hopefully from Indicator later this year. And Innocence definitely is a must-have horror. Definitely a must-have. Critters movies also need a Blu-ray release. Totally agree on that one. Hope Scream Factor is a collector's edition of the Resident Creep Show. Agreed. HMV. HMV. It's like a. So I have to go, Aaron. Take care. I'm going out. Enjoy your shopping. Have a great evening. Joe vs. the Volcano is a great Warner Archive. I gotta get that. I don't have that. It's Tom Hanks. That's one of the ones that I don't have. You guys have some great ideas. See, all I have to do is like put the title up. What needs a Blu-ray release? And you guys have better ideas than I'm probably going to think up. The Critters one. I think we'll get the Critters one actually fairly soon. That's one that I actually do see coming out. And I think it's going to be a Scream Factory release. I think with the Warner, like the deals that they've made. Does anybody else think so? HMV. Well, HMV is still in the UK, Tim. So HMV was like a movie music store here in Canada. It was in Canada. I think they had some in the US as well, but they closed down there, and they're still in the UK. It means his master's voice. If you HMV has like a dog with his ear to a megaphone, and it was only when I went to London that I actually realized what it meant. Murdersville should be in HMV later today. I'm jealous, dude. You know how much I love HMV up there. You know how much I love England. Are you over in England? I was in the London area, so I would go over to the HMV, like, the big one there, and I would go to Fops there on Covent Gardens. Great Fops, by the way. If you're ever in the London area and you're in around Covent Gardens area, go check out Fops. It's a fantastic place. The people there are great, and they got a ton of cool stuff. Anyway, I gotta pick this stuff up. I got so much left to do. I got to do like the glamour stuff tonight, litter and stuff like that. I've got cats. Do you have The Beat Goes On in your area? No, we don't. I don't have any movie stores in my area. The closest thing, 30 minutes away. Oh man, I'd like to see a Critters box set. I think we're going to get a Critters box set. I think that It's Alive set is kind of a letting us know there's a Critters box set coming down the road. And with the thought of a Critters box set, with memories of HMV, Fops, Covent Gardens. I know you touched on this in the last stream, but can you or anyone in this chat recommend some film podcasts? I haven't really been able to find any. Regular film podcast? I think Pure Cinema, for sure. Screamcast is a good one. Yeah, Pure Cinema. The Shockwaves is another good podcast. All About the Discs, actually. Well, actually, the guy he does, just the discs. That's what it is. Yeah, he does some good stuff there. Someone actually, I've seen, like, watches some of my stuff, is Stephanie Crawford, who actually is on the podcast. Really sweet girl, really awesome. And I think I met I'm on Twitter, so we're on the same Twitter thing together, and she's commented on like my videos a couple times, which is really awesome. I kind of geeked out because some of that I listen to, and that's always cool. But like those for sure, those are ones that I would go with. Like there's a lot of really good podcasts out there. I got to do up a list because I go back and forth on certain ones, and some have ended. I remember there was one that was called like Torgo's Pizzeria, that something like that. I think it was called Torgo's Pizzeria, that I really liked. Now, Killer POV was the one that came out before Shockwaves. They had a really good run of podcast episodes. If you can ever find those, they're harder to find now because the place took them off, but I think one guy's archiving them. Definitely worth looking into and checking out. So, some podcast names I remember, Stephanie Crawford, Rebecca McHenry, Rob Galuzzo, Elric Kane. Anytime you see those names attached to a podcast, Ryan Turek, you're getting a pretty good one. I wish I remember the other Screamcast guys' names because I know that they originally started doing the Screamcast was originally started to do talk about Scream Factory films, and somewhere along the way, I think there was like a bit of I'm not sure it's a bit of a fallout or something with just doing Scream Factory stuff, but it worked out good in the long run because he ended up having a much better podcast with that. Eric Kane is Pierce with Brian Sauer, yeah, who also does Just to This. That's one of the names I was trying to remember. Just to This is actually really good. It's one that I found. I found actually because I listened to Screamcast and I was a big fan of Stephanie's work, and I saw her on Just to This and I ended up like listening to Just to This afterwards, and I find out their stuff is really good. They'll pick it like a lot of movies. They'll talk about a lot of indicator stuff as well, stuff that I spend a lot of time actually when I'm not watching films. Like when I go to bed at night, every night, I listen to a podcast. That's usually how I kind of unwind. Because I'll watch a movie before I go to bed, and then when I go to bed, if I just can't sleep, I'll listen to a podcast. And sometimes I'll be like, insight into me. Usually I got like a 3DS, like a Nintendo 3DS, and I play a lot of Pokemon Crystal. If you really enjoy 80s movies, good times, great movies. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. So Polly, good one, good call. I don't think I've listened to that one in a while. That one's still around. See, there's a few of them, like Cult Cinema. There's a Cult Cinema one as well that I'll listen to. There's a lot of great podcasts. We'll do that. And next time I come on here, we'll talk podcasts. Now, I have to go, put this stuff away and do some stuff. And thanks for joining me, everyone. And if anybody wants to keep talking, feel free to do so. And again, honored that you guys came in here to join me here for my Saturday night video, and I'm going to try and keep doing these every Saturday night. Trying to up my game, try to go a little bit longer each time, try to talk about more and more stuff. So remember, in the comment section down below, have like give me a comment. You too, Paul. I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. Same with you, Movie Mac. Same with you, Tim. Everybody on here that like, I'm glad 13 Wolfman who does like. Yeah, I'm Tummy Films. You're the first person commented, by the way. Thanks in this one here. So thanks a lot, and I'm glad you finally got to get on here and see the live stream. I hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed it. And I want to create like a community on here that we can just talk back and forth. Mark, I'm never going to forget you, Mark. And I like the fact, when you started commenting, I'd say, "Oh, hi, Mark," and that was kind of like I didn't know if you caught on or not, but I'm a huge fan of the room, so I'd use that. Murdersville. Time for bed. Cheerio. Let's see. Here it is. I have my Fitbit watch. That's what I use. It's 10:49 here in Canada. So time for like maybe double feature films. Then it's bedtime. Thanks guys for watching. And for me, it is time for tea. You can hear my voice is going, and I really enjoyed tonight, guys. It's been a blast.